Well, hello and welcome to another video by Fitness Technology Services. So today's a video continuing on my little Schwinn series, I guess we'll call it. We're going to remove the belt today. And basically the covers are the same thing as the other side. So I've kind of just removed everything. But I kind of want to go over it, I guess, briefly, kind of in an overlay real quick. But the main thing I want to notice for you guys is this flywheel, the crank crossbar assembly, because it's mounted with crossbars, on the other side was just weak and wobbly and I could just pull it off. On this side, it's actually functioning correctly, and it's going to take this, which is the only specialized tool for removing this, but most ellipticals don't have that, so apparently Schwinn does. So I want to make sure I go over that step with you right there. All right, so since I did put a couple of screws in, just so that I would kind of have a little recap, we're going to just loosen these up. Of course, there was a couple of more, but you can see that on the other video. Then I'm just going to take this out. Put that right here. This pushes through. Leg will drop down right here. This will come up. All right, so then we need to remove this bolt here. Put that there. Am I getting you away for 1 second? I'm going to remove this pedal leg. All right, back to giving you a view. So that's this cover, pretty much the same procedures as the other. The only difference is going to be is the way that this crossbar crank is mounted. On my last video, I couldn't decide what size it was. It's both a 14 and a 9/16. So on the other side, I did it with a 9/16. I'm going to do this with a 14. This has been somewhat loosened too. I'm just trying to not to go over the same thing with you guys a zillion times so it drives you nuts. All right, take that out of there right there. As you can see, this side is really tight. So what we need, and this is sold at a bicycle store, really. If you have like a high end, sometimes I've seen them at REI. But the main thing is you want to be very gentle when putting this in, because these threads strip really easy. So crank the inside of this all the way in first. And normally I gotta have a wrench for that too. So it's an oldie, but it's kind of a goodie. So then we're gonna crank the inside in, and it's going to physically push it out. This is the same way you do. Wow, that's really tight and good. That's the same way you do a crank arm on a spin bike. I don't know if I'm strong enough. I'm going to have to be, aren't I? All right, a little extra leverage here. Boy, it is tough getting old. All right, so that presses that out of there. All right. So of course I'd have to remove this tool, but that's obvious, and then push it back on. All right. That's not this video. So we're just gonna leave that tool in there. Yeah, got a little dirty. So here's your belt. This is really pretty easy. Like I said, on the other side of it, it's a pretty simple system. I like it though, really. I believe this is a 10. Yeah. So we're just gonna 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Just guessing on that. Just loosen it up so it's the same. Alright, that should be enough to take it off. Oh, I lied to you guys. I said I had all my tools together. Let's see. Didn't expect everything to be a different size. Bolt here and there. This is a 15 millimeter. Alright, so everything works pretty good. So we got to loosen this side up over here. Hopefully I'm not blocking you. Alright. Do my hand then. Have to go a little further. No, I think I can walk that off. Don't want to be in your way. So you just walk that wheel off right there. And then with both of these loosened off, this flywheel will just come up like this. And of course you would put your new belt on if that's what you're doing. Hopefully I got a good view of that. But since I'm not actually putting the belt on, just showing you how to do it. I'm just going to take this, drop this bad boy right in there. It's definitely old and heavy stuff, I gotta tell you. Also my inability to lift heavy things, so it is what it is, so to speak. But, so this would go back up here like so. I guess we'll go down a little further, make it easier on me. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 little times. I don't think any of that really needs to be exact, but at least give me a reference to putting it back. All right. Right there, does that look good? Yes, it does. Come over here, put this adjustment bolt back in. Come over here. Basically, it's the same thing as doing this. Set that rascal right there. Run the wrench the right way. 17. If you mess this up, it won't be the end of the world. It'll just make the flywheel a little crooked, and you just have to adjust one side or the other. So run this in here like this. And lock this on like that there. That's a shame. That's a really nice older system. Look at that thing. I hope I'm not in the way. That's a really nice, I mean, that's smooth. The more it turns by itself, the better bearings they had in the flywheel. Anyway, that's pretty good stuff. All right, so this was 25. I had to move it up to 30 to get the belt off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do an extra one. All right, and this is just back to the 17. All right, I'm just going to lightly tighten these up right now because I'm probably going to have to take it apart again. But that's roughly it. So if you want to make sure your belt's on straight enough where it's not crooked, spin it for a few minutes. Or in this case, let it spin itself. So if you're too far off on your adjustments on your two adjustment bolts, this will start walking its way back off, or it'll walk over and hit this frame. All right, so I guess that's really it for changing the dry belt, V-belt on this Schwinn. The main thing is that park tool that I talked about earlier. And beyond that, everything's kind of the same. It's just a little more, it's not really more work. It's just, well, it's pretty hard on me because I'm weak. But a little different on removing the crank crossbar off of the axle on this pulley. They call this piece on all manufacturers, as far as I know, a pulley. All right? This is the actual flywheel. And this is the magnet. So, that's it for this one, all right? So I look forward to doing another video with you. Thanks for viewing. Please subscribe, and I guess that's it. Thanks a lot.